From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Monday, September the 27th, 2021. It is your digital host, Louie B, of the Hamilton Ticats and the Ticats Audio Network. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, whether it is of this show, Ticats Today, in which we bring you daily news and notes from practice, exclusive interviews, and CFL insiders, whether it's the CFL This Week with Bubba O'Neill, where a new episode dropped today. Task and Twos, Morreale and Hitch, all great options here for you, available on the Ticats Audio Network. As mentioned, it is a Monday, so hopefully you had a nice and relaxing weekend once it finally stopped raining after it felt like it had been raining all week last week, but had a nice weekend yesterday. Hopefully you had a nice Sunday yesterday, had a nice weekend, and hopefully you did as well. The Ticats not back at the practice field just quite yet. Kind of an extended time away from the field after a stretch of 4 games in 17 days. So they'll be back practicing tomorrow, and we'll bring you all the latest from practice, including your, of course, exclusive interviews with Coach O and various players. But today, I cannot believe it has taken me this long to bring on RJ Broadhead, the play-by-play voice of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And RJ, I cannot believe that here we are halfway through the season, 7 games in, 7 games left to go in the regular season. You have not been on my podcast, so that is a total oversight on my part. So thank you for joining me today. It's always great to talk to you, RJ.
Hey, we're busy guys, and that first 7 games of the schedule were pretty crazy. So I think everybody was busy. So I'm glad I'm on, and I probably be on almost every day now, right?
Yeah, I know. It's an easy call now. It's just an easy text. Oh, sorry, RJ, somebody canceled. I need you on.
Exactly. I'm in.
You've mentioned it. Just the flurry of games, and especially wrapping up with the 4-17. Now the Ticats are kind of at the halfway point. They have some time in between games. It kind of gives us the chance to really assess what we've seen so far. And I think you're probably in the same boat as me, is that I can't really say what I've seen so far because there's been so many changes.
Yeah, there's been flashes where I think we all leave the stadium thinking, okay, now these are the Ticats we thought we were going to see at the start of the year, and then it kind of goes sideways again. Winning 4 of 5 is pretty good, but look, that schedule has been really, really tough. It's been a huge challenge. 5 of 7 on the road. You don't have any preseason games. You start in Winnipeg, the defending champions, then Saskatchewan. And we know how those first 2 games went, and all the questions and the doubt. And then that bye week, I still think that bye week was a big key, a chance to really regroup for the team. And then they started playing better. It looked like after that Labor Day game that they were on track. And then a flat game against Toronto a few days after. And what really stood out there is, as flat as the Tiger Cats were, they still had a chance to win that football game. And then came out against Calgary, were really good, and Ottawa just amazing. So when you look at the challenges they've had in these first 7 games, it's pretty good to be in first place and above 500, or at least tied for first place. So these next 7 games are the big key. With, of course, you have 5 of 7 on the road to start. Easy math says you have 5 of 7 at home to finish. So that could be and should be good news.
And we were talking about this, that the path to the Grey Cup would include 7 of their next 9 games being played in Hamilton. They only have to fly once. They only have to fly to Edmonton. The other game is Toronto. Guys, half the guys get to the stadium on their own anyway. How much of a factor do you think that's going to be for this group? You've been in that building. We know that it's going to be expanded by another 3,000, at least for the next game. Who knows beyond that? But, I mean, how important do you think it's going to be for the Ticats to really continue their dominance at home against a lot of East Division opponents coming up?
Yeah, you said it. Dominance, Louie. It's really uncanny. And you ask Coach O and players, and even Luke Tasker and Andy Fantus, the ex-players who were part of that real home dominance, especially Luke in 2019. And nobody really has an exact answer. The fans, the protect our house attitude, but it has really worked. And Tim Hortons Field has been a massive advantage. And even going in, teams know that Hamilton's good. So you just have that little edge going into those games. They've been great again at home this year. I think 12 in a row when you go back to 2019 in the playoffs. So they have to keep that going. They are winnable games. Of course, they have Montreal coming up, and that one really fascinates me, Louie, because William Stanback, in the first meeting, which was the first win for the Tiger Cats, they held him to 40 yards rushing. And you look at what he's done. He's leading the league in rushing. No team has come close to holding him back. So that game on October the 2nd will be extremely interesting to see if that defense can keep going. And it's been a big key, the defense, but playing at home, those games, I think the Tiger Cats are looking at those, no matter who their opponent is, that they can win every home game.
Well, because Montreal comes into this one with the number one offense in the league, scoring 26.3 points per game, averaging 413.2 yards per game, compared to Hamilton, who's sitting in 8th. So we know Hamilton's doing it through defense, but how long should they expect to keep this up? Because, I mean, guys are getting healthy. You have to think like Jeremiah Masoli, who's healthy enough to back up. He's going to be working his way back to full health. Braylon Addison, Brandon Banks. I mean, this defense that's built this first place team, I guess they got to be hoping that, the offense is going to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and the defense has added some offense with touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 games too, so they've contributed on that side. And yeah, the offense, that would be the one area that you'd look at with the Tiger Cats that needs to improve. And I think you said it, Louie, with the guys getting healthy, even Chris Van Zyl on the offensive line, the reigning most outstanding offensive lineman, a couple more receivers in there. One thing this has done, and the fact, again, Tiger Cats are tied for first place above 500 through the first half of the regular season is terrific. When you look at the injuries, no Speedy B, the reigning most outstanding player, he should be back soon. But guys have had opportunities. Tim White has been able to step in. Stephen Dunbar's been able to step in. Pappy White's been able to step in. Jalen Ackland's emerged as a top receiver on the team. David Watford's had an opportunity to come in and win a couple of games for the Tiger Cats. So when those injuries and challenges come in, it's an opportunity for other players. And it has really added to the Tiger Cats' depth where they'll be comfortable putting whoever into situations. But if they can get that A team on offense back, that will allow them to put up more points, you would have to think, and maybe take some pressure off that defense. But that defense has a swagger. I don't think they are too concerned about giving up too many points. There's no holes. They've just been amazing, fun to watch. By far the fewest points against in the East Division, just Winnipeg's ahead of them. 17 points against in 7 games on average, which is pretty impressive.
And selfless, right? I mean, nobody cares about their individual stats. And I think that's kind of the benefit of Simone Lawrence having, gone through all these, having set, Ticats individual records already type thing, but there are a lot of guys who at the end of the day, as long as the defense gets the job done, it's a very selfless defense. And I feel like that's something that starts with the top. And I'm wondering, you coming in this season, having seen, firsthand the way these guys talk about their coaches, whether it's Mark Washington, whether it's Orlando Steinauer, that you've covered a lot of teams. It's easier to say that they got to buy in than to actually do it. But what have you seen from the Ticats in terms of their buy-in to what's being built here?
Oh, you're exactly right. It's huge, and everybody has the same message. They know, they understand. There's an attitude with the Tiger Cats that is fun to be around because everybody's on the same page. There isn't that star player that, has the swagger and does all the interviews. And if he doesn't have a good game, the team's not going to win. So Tiger Cats have that depth. I like that you brought up Simone Lawrence because you look at a little bit of maybe karma, maybe coincidence. 2021, number 21, having a big year. One of the leaders in tackles as usual. The 2 touchdowns, the interceptions, massive. The linebacking crew's been great. The defensive backs, the secondary, just so good at knocking down passes. Jamal Roll coming up with that interception for a touchdown in the last game. But that defensive line, too. How many times have we seen the Tiger Cats stop a team in short yardage, which, as we know in the CFL, when you're third in inches and you've got that yard grace, it's pretty tough to stop the other team. And that defensive line has been a wall. So defensively, it's been fun to watch. And to be honest, through 7 games, I'm surprised when a team gets a first down or a big gain on them. It's a good thing if you're a Tiger Cats fan when you're surprised that your defense gives up a play over 10 yards.
And especially to the point where they started 0-2, where it looked like everybody, especially in the second half, we saw Winnipeg make an adjustment. Then they came out and Andrew Harris kind of kept running down their throats in that first game. Then Saskatchewan kind of did the same thing week 2. And it would have been easy for this team, and we can add in the caveat that they were injured. They haven't been as consistent as they've been the last few weeks, but would have been easy for any other team to be like high expectations, shrug our shoulders, 0-2 start. But like you said, since then, 4-1 in their last 5 games. They're doing it a different way than we probably expected them to do it. But at the end of the day, we've heard coach say this, we've heard other people. There's no style points. All that matters is they beat the other team. They had more points than the other team by the end of 60 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember, you and I were interviewing Simone Lawrence and asked him, do you guys have a number on defense that you want to hold a team to? And he smiled and said, yeah, less than we score, which is a great answer. And you look at that one loss in the last 5 games, and they fell behind to Toronto 14-0. They were flat, didn't have anything going, but somehow we're right there at the end and lost by a point. So again, that bye week, I really feel at the end of the season, we're going to look back after those first 2 games. And again, tough places to go. Any team that goes into Winnipeg or Saskatchewan, it's going to be a tough game to win. So to start the season with those games, it kind of, in a way, maybe brought the Tiger Cats back down to earth and time to put on the work boots again. And it seemed like in that bye week, everybody was there. They were studying film. They were on the field work. Well, not on the field, but they were doing what they had to do to be prepared for when they finished the bye week. And maybe the ego got hit a little bit. And sometimes you need that in sports, and you'd much sooner have it in the first 2 weeks than in the last 2 weeks or the playoffs. So you got to learn lessons, and I think the Tiger Cats did. They've been great of late, and again, I look ahead at that schedule: 3 straight at home, 5 of the next 7 at home. I don't know. I'm not going to do predictions, but I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
There's definitely more reasons to be optimistic than pessimistic about this Ticats team, I think, for sure. The audio network as a whole, we've been doing this now. I mean, what is this? This is week 9. We've been doing this 10 weeks, I guess we should say. But working with Luke, I know you've worked with a couple of different broadcast partners as well. You were working with Andy, and you're going to be joined with Mike Morreale. What's your overall assessment of what we've been doing here? I just, as someone with your experience in this business, it's kind of brand new that what we're all doing. So just want to get your thoughts about what we're doing here at the Ticats Audio Network.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be over 25 years in the business, bounced around a few places, but I've been at the one place for a long time at Sportsnet. So to be able to work, I've worked with, I'd have to go through, but it's got to be close to hundreds of analysts in different sports. This Ticats Audio Network has been a lot of fun to be around. It's a team. We work with the Tiger Cats, so the access to the players and the coaching staff has been amazing. It's great to work with guys like Luke and Andy because you can tell they've been athletes all their life. They're new to the broadcasting. Of course, Luke's dad is a very good broadcaster as well, so we probably get some tips there, but they're coachable. You tell them something and they're on it. They know what they need to do, and it's been terrific for me. Working with the analysts, I learn something every game, and I think that's important for the listener too. That's what you want from the guys who have been there, and I think we're really lucky to be part of the Ticats Audio Network on the ground floor, and I think a lot of other teams, other leagues will start doing this thing where they're streaming their own events and games and have a whole broadcast network. So with yourself, you're the busiest man at the Ticats Audio Network. So you've been all over the place. You never get a day off. So
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that and send it away to the bosses. But like,
I'll be your agent. Sure.
Yeah. To finish that up on that point, because like, I think you probably feel the same way that like having just been like Luke and Andy's teammate the last 9 weeks, you can see why they were both so beloved in the locker room and had such long careers in the CFL, because their attention to detail, their coachability, like you said, 2 great guys to get to work with. Glad to get to work with you two there, RJ. Someone who's watched you for some of those 25 years. Getting to do things like this is truly an honor. So thank you for coming on the podcast, my friend.
Well, it's been great working with you too, Louie, and a ton of respect for you. You do a great job, and I always enjoy our chats, and I'll join you anytime.
Perfect. Taking you up on that. Thanks so much, RJ. Thanks for doing this.
Okay, thanks, Louie.
And my thanks to RJ Broadhead for joining me on today's show. And my thanks to you for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'll be back tomorrow. The Ticats back on the practice field tomorrow as well. So looking forward to a brand new episode of Ticats Today. Hey, and while you're here on the Ticats Audio Network, make sure to check out a brand new episode of the CFL This Week with Bubba O'Neill. Thanks for checking us out today. Appreciate it as always. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.